Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Good News Day, the day where we celebrate all the good things that are going on in the news cycle, whatever it may be, whether it be medical advancements or people being heroes. They're all here on this day. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories right before we started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to speak and read live on stream. Let's roll that like a wheel. But first, today's headlines. Today on Good News Day. Nova Scotia couple donates 46 acres for an intentional community with affordable housing. And family pays tributes to selfless hero who died trying to save two people from the sea in Yorkshire.
Wow. Greetings and salutations from the United States, where we have news about electric vehicle batteries. Yes, Samsung says they have a new solid-state battery. It'll go 600 miles on a 9-minute charge. And we're going to talk about the Cinderella rags to riches story of the University of Wisconsin River Falls football team.
AI-powered headsets can predict epilepsy seizures before they occur. And anti-aging drug regrows knee cartilage in major breakthrough that could end knee replacements.
Right on. In our second segment here in the States, we have it is Public Domain Day. That's right. Different countries have different periods of time where works of art become public domain, and it happens on January 1st, and we're going to announce the ones that came up this year.
In my culture news, the Critics Awards happened over the weekend. The Critics' Choice Awards happened over the weekend.
Right. And
Chelsea Handler was able to give a tribute to Rob Reiner, who she praised as the nicest guy in Hollywood.
Wow. And it's National Bean Day, so cool beans! It is all of... I'm sorry. Roses are red, pickles are sour. All the world's news less than an hour on January 6, 2025 on Before Coffee. I had to get
nice
the post
extra
office
poem for us starting already.
Right, that might be my intro from now on. Roses are red. Horses are fast. You know, that kind of thing. Just rhyme shit with that.
quick rhymes.
Yeah.
Let's start with our good news
Roses
with
are
our
red,
first segue.
Roses are red, grab some other object and describe it and rhyme that. I'm sorry, I gotta get my paper out here. What was that? What's my spin?
Hypothetical.
Hypo. Right, January 6th. Today. Yeah, I had to go to the post office this morning because my item that I sold, it said, must ship by January 6th. I'm like, shit, I better get to the post office.
Yeah, that's today. Yeah, better go.
Yeah. I sold it over the weekend. I didn't even realize I wasn't checking the stuff that I sold. It was like,
Yeah. Gotta
So
call you on the phone to tell you, hey, you sold something. Our first story is about a Nova Scotia couple, which is in Canada, is donating acres of land for affordable housing. This is the Canadian Press. When Amy Hendricks and Paul Davey moved to Antigonish, Nova Scotia from Yellowknife, they had a bit of a struggle on their hands, finding the right plot of land. We thought, how hard could it be, Davey said. Then we spent a year or 18 months looking around Antigonish, trying to find a place where we could fill the click. It needed the right zoning, it needed space for parking. Hendricks is an internal medicine doctor who has spent a large part of her practice focused on cardiology. In the Northwest Territories, she covered a lot of ground, millions of acres, to see patients where they were. So she was comfortable working outside a traditional hospital. She and Davy decided to build a space where Hendricks could run a medical clinic on the main floor and have room for their housing on top. They worked with a realtor who finally told them about a plot of land just outside the city. It was magical, Hendricks said, recalling walking onto the property for the first time, right at the foot of the Sugarloaf Mountain. The land was covered in trees, but still within walking distance of the hospital for Hendricks. It was a no-brainer. Hendricks and Davy bought the land, all 46 acres of it. But they quickly decided they didn't need all that space. Paul said, "You can't imagine affordable housing development here," Hendricks said. The couple found Colleen Cameron at a holiday benefit concert 3 years ago. Cameron, the chair of the board of directors for Antigonish Affordable Housing, had finished making some remark and remembered Hendricks coming over to her after the concert. She said, "Would you like some land for affordable housing?" Cameron said, "It's a dream for us non-profits to receive free land. That is a big part of our expenses." Cameron signed on to the project and worked with Davy and Hendricks to connect them to other organizations that would be interested. The Naomi Society, a nonprofit that helps people leaving violent situations with transitional housing, the Canadian Association for Community Living, and a group of people with physical and intellectual disabilities each took a parcel of land for development. Soon, the Sugarloaf Intentional Community was formed. The CACL buildings were already in the works, along with the medical clinic. Cameron says she hopes shovels will go in the ground in late summer for the affordable housing units, as they are sorely needed in the area. In a municipal housing report from 2023, the town of Antigonish found that nearly half of all renters earned an income below what would be needed to afford an average rental unit. Cameron says her organization was able to open up 17 units over 2017 and 2018. We had 120 applications for the 17 units. Patrick McKenna, coordinator with Naomi Society, says having a lack of affordable housing can be health and safety risk. The number one reason why people don't leave violent situations is because there's nowhere to go, with the housing crisis the way it is, McKenna said. McKenna also says that while government support is available, that has also changed in recent years. You can see that Houston government is starting to really tighten their controls. The Kearney government is doing the same. I think it's going to be more difficult for not-for-profits from a government funding standpoint. That's why he says community-led projects like this one are so important. Because community members are invested in and understand the needs of their neighbors. For Hendricks and Davy, that they could see firsthand the impact of the housing crisis on their community. "We had multiple nursing homes in Antigonish," Hendricks said. "At the wages people earn from working in a nursing home, they can't actually live in the community." Hendricks says she heard of workers driving in from as far as Port Hawkesbury, roughly 40 minutes away, just to care for people in the nursing homes. Hendricks and Davy envisioned their intentional community as a place that can help alleviate some of those pressures and costs. They want it to be a walkable space, eventually adding a daycare and a corner store. Despite the grand plans, neither Hendricks nor Davy see themselves as philanthropists or advocates for housing. They see themselves as people looking to share their space and create community along the way. "It's land we don't need for ourselves," Davy said. "It seemed a bit of a waste to just leave it there." So there's your good, feel-good story about two people who are just part of the community, got some land for probably, I bet they didn't pay that much for it, right? And they said, you know what? We don't even need this much land for what we're building. Let other people live here. There's definitely plenty of places out there, right, that are just like, I've got 46 acres, and it's just a field. Not even anything growing on it, right? I just have a field. Great.
Right.
Enjoy your field, I guess, dude.
What province is this in?
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, okay. I was thinking, because my hypothetical, wouldn't it be nice if there was just one Sugarloaf Mountain? There isn't even one Sugarloaf Mountain in Canada. There's 5, and one of them's in New Brunswick. Of course, there's at least one in the United States I've been to that was in Maine. It's a ski area. But the United States has something like, it looks like about 40 places called Sugarloaf Mountain. Isn't that ridiculous? It's like, there's one in Maryland. Maryland, which isn't known for its mountains, has a Sugarloaf Mountain. But of course, northwestern Maryland is full of mountains. It's all mountains.
Yeah, I mean, I probably said the name place
Basically,
wrong
West
because it's like a really weird name place. It's called, what was it called again?
And it could be
Antigonish. It says, it looks like Antigonish.
a native name.
It's not
Yeah,
a normal.
a native.
It's probably a native word or something that they
That's
made
a
into
native
an
name,
English
yeah.
word, so it's all messed up and doesn't make any
Inuit
sense.
name. Okay, there's my hypothetical anyway. Wouldn't it be nice? Sugarloaf. That sounds familiar. Wait a minute. There's hundreds of them. And they're all over the world that has Sugarloaf. Not just the United States and Canada. They're everywhere. Everywhere. They just call them under different languages. They're still Sugarloaf. People love that term, right? There's also a rock band from the 70s called Sugarloaf. You know, they sang "Green Eyed Lady."
Really?
Don't call us.
I guess
call
it's a
you.
popular.
They had 2 hits.
Yeah, it's a popular word.
They had 2 hits. Don't call us. Well, their second hit was "Don't Call Us, We'll Call You." And their first hit was "Green Eyed Lady." You might have heard that one, but
it's basically where this mountain is
great
located
bass
is
line.
just south of Prince Edward Island, I guess that area.
Yeah,
So.
in the Maritimes, Nova Scotia, which
It
stands
is
for
basically by Maine. It is that one branch of Canada that's next to Maine, you know.
Nova Scotia just means New Scotland. Is what that means.
Yeah.
But I guess we're gonna do another story, or are we gonna spin?
Yes, I do have another story.
All right.
My next story is about celebrating a hero. This is coming out of Yorkshire by Athena Stavru on The Independent. The man who died trying to save 2 people stuck in the sea off the East Yorkshire coast has been named by his family, who called him a selfless hero. Mark Ratcliffe, 67, was pulled from the sea near Withersney Friday, which was, what was Friday, the 2nd of January, after being found unconscious in the water. He was later confirmed to have died. In a tribute, his family said Mr. Ratcliffe was a true selfless hero with a heart of gold, who was so cruelly taking trying to save others. So many lives are now shattered that you're gone. You were loved by so many people, and we will miss you forever, they added. A loving husband, father, son, brother, and best granddad anybody could ever wish for. Sleep tight. We love you and we miss you. The body of the 45-year-old woman was also recovered, Humbershire police said, while searches continue for one remaining missing person. Their alarm was raised after 3 p.m. on January 2nd, sparking a major search, led by the Coast Guard with assistance from RNLI, Humberside Police, Yorkshire Ambulance Service, and Humberside Fire and Rescue. Darren Stevens, who lives in the area, told the BBC he had witnessed lots of emergency vehicles and crews near the beach. He also said it had snowed earlier and that the conditions were bitter and freezing. It's not a good place to be in the sea, he added. But he still tried to save those people in East Yorkshire, which is what makes him a hero. He tried to save 2 people who got swept away by sea. Maybe they got stuck in a... we can't get the story because sadly he passed away. But I think there's probably some sort of, you know, you can get stuck in a squall. The sea can just say, you know what? I'm taking you, and we're going out to sea, and you're coming with me, and you get trapped. So,
Right.
let's celebrate the hero that is Mark Ratcliffe.
Right. And a hero, of course, is from the Greek word, which is half God, half human.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it interesting, hypothetically, if our heroes would actually live and all the cowards would die? Wouldn't that work out better?
Yeah.
Because it works out the opposite.
It's a shame.
It works out the opposite. All the people that were brave and selfless and thought about other people just went ahead and went into the military draft back in the 60s and said, you know what, I'm selfless. And of course, the cowards found a way out, like, you know, our current occupant of the White House. And somebody had to go in his place. And of course, you know, well, he had a high draft lottery number anyway. He wouldn't have been drafted. Okay, so why didn't he just go ahead and say draft me if he had a high lottery number? Because he was a coward. You've got a fake medical deferment. Doesn't stop him from playing golf, though. Did you ever notice that? Anyway, there's the.
That's my stories.
There's my hypothetical.
Let's roll our
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if heroes survived every time? They don't always make it. Usually, it's just, yeah, he was courageous. He saved a lot of lives, and all the lives he saved, about 2 or 3 of them are worth saving, right? The rest of them were just cowards. I don't want to do anything. Anyway.
Our next segue is accurate simile and metaphor for your story.
All right. Let's talk about batteries. Samsung's radical new solid state batteries on sale in this year. This is from onlygoodnewsdaily.com. A long anticipated 600-mile solid state battery that can charge in 9 minutes are heading to the market in a 3-way agreement between itself, BMW, and American battery expert Solid Power. Samsung's all solid state batteries have energy density of 500 kilowatt hours. I'm sorry, 500 kilowatt hours would be amazing, right? You could power a freaking, town. Anyway, have an energy density of 500 watt hours per kilogram, making them twice as dense as conventional lithium-ion batteries. The South Korean company says they are smaller, lighter, and safer than conventional batteries and are capable of driving 600 miles and charging within 9 minutes. Typically, a lithium-ion battery pack in a modern EV charges from 10% to 80% in about 45 minutes and has a limit of about 300 miles. So the ASSBs are a radical upgrade to what drivers are currently using. ASSB cells use solid electrolyte instead of liquid electrolyte found in a lithium-ion battery. They offer superior safety as they aren't flammable, as lithium ions can actually explode and start on fire. And last 20 years, our 2,000 charge discharges equaling 1.2 million miles. Under the trilateral agreement, Samsung will supply ASSB cells featuring a solid electrolyte developed by Solid Power to the German automotive group BMW, which will then develop modules and packs for ASSB cells to fit into their next generation evaluation vehicles expected in late 2026. Another benefit of Samsung's ASSBs is that they use a silver carbon layer as the anode and a nickel manganese cobalt material as the cathode. What does that mean? That means anode has one type of material, cathode is another type of material. One is more conductive than the other. So the thing in the middle that interchanges between those plates will drain one while it fills the other one. And when they're both equal, the battery's dead. That's how a battery works. Another benefit, let's do that. The nickel manganese cobalt material for the cathode. Silver is not only the most electrically conductive metal available, it is also sustainably more plentiful in the Earth's crust than lithium. So we got new batteries. We are not using lithium, and they last longer, and they go farther. They charge quicker. So that's some really good news. If this is great news, perhaps, for the Earth as electric cars become more feasible. Your metaphor.
Metaphor.
Mixed metaphor. Yeah.
Mixed, nope, accurate, not mixed.
Oh, okay. Okay. Accurate metaphor. Get the soundboard ready for all this.
Batteries are like the energy that charges our lives. You don't know they're there, but they're always there in the background.
Right.
We don't always run on AC power.
Just another thing we take for
granted. Our computers are running on a battery, and our phones, of course.
Yeah, it's one of those things I don't like about the wireless earbuds. Besides the fact that you just lose one in an airplane seat and you never find it again. The other thing is you got to charge them all the time. It's like, oh, good, my earbuds died. Not getting near nothing now.
Just for the Bluetooth, right? Because you don't really need a lot of power to transmit sound. It's just for the Bluetooth that they need to be charged. Right, and it's just to me it's just another inconvenience I would rather do without. What's so bad about having cables running through your stuff? I don't see how that. And plus you haven't I guess gotten them all tangled. All the time, but it's a lot easier than looking for. Oh shit! I got one earbud now. Thanks. And here's another good news story. We're going to the Spotlight. This is Tuesday's Good News in Sports. We haven't done any good news in sports in a while. Because sports, again, is just competition, right? It's a winner and a loser. It's over, everybody goes home. But sometimes you got stories where a team just rises above mediocrity or even
awfulness to reach new heights. JS Online, this is Journal Sentinel, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, has his story. River Falls completes Cinderella reinvention, wins NCAA Division III title. J.R. Ratcliffe has the story. Once the doormat of the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, but now a turbocharged offensive powerhouse, River Falls laid claim to the NCAA Division III championship in the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl on January 4th, and a 24-14 win over reigning champion North Central Illinois. And the game was played in Canton, Ohio, at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. North Central, located in Naperville, came into the battle undefeated and was appearing in its 6th consecutive Stagg Bowl. This is a powerhouse team. Yeah, the North Central from Illinois was a powerhouse team. Their 6th consecutive championship game with wins in 2019, 22, and 24. River Falls had never been to the title game before, nor the semifinals round before. It is the team's first appearance in the playoffs since 1996, and the Falcons recorded their first playoff win since 1995 along the way. It was 15 years to get here. Long tenured head coach Matt Walker said in a post-game interview on ESPN, "I had teams that won no games, teams that won 1 game, teams that won 2. Everybody just kept fighting and supporting and staying committed to this vision. I'm speechless. It took so many people. I'm so proud." When somebody says they're speechless and they continue to talk, they're not exactly speechless, are they? And he continued to talk even though he was speechless. I'm just being facetious here. Anyway. The current players get all the credit. They get the most. The whole playoff run felt like it was more than just these players. The coaches who stayed with me at this campus, the town of River Falls, there is no place in the world like this town. I'm serious. Quarterback Caleb Blaha set a single season record for total offense just days after winning the Gagliardi Trophy, acknowledging the top player in NCAA Division III. He is the 3rd player from Wisconsin to win the award, joining Justin Beaver of Wisconsin Whitewater in 2007 and Brett Casper of Wisconsin Oshkosh in 2017. Their careers probably ended right after that. I'm hoping Blaha has a decent career. He looks like he's got good size and a decent arm. We'll see if he makes it in the NFL. We'll see. We'll see if he gets drafted. Hopefully he does. Blaha passed current Cincinnati Bengals star Joe Burrow's NCAA record for most total offensive yards in a single season, sliding past Burrow's mark of 6,039 yards with Louisiana LSU in 2019, Louisiana State University. Moments after setting the record, Blaha called his own number and tumbled into the end zone from 7 yards out, giving River Falls a 17-14 lead with 2:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. Blaha came into the game with 5,770 all-purpose yards. He passed for 277 yards and ran for another 129 with 2 touchdowns and finished the game with 6,176 total yards for one season. For one guy, he's either throwing or running for all those yards. Well, I mean, he didn't throw the ball all those yards. He throws it to a receiver, and the receiver runs with it, right? And so those count in the quarterback's yardage for some reason, right? I think the quarterback should only get the yardage he passed for. I don't know, but that's a whole nother subject. In the 4th quarter, the offensive juggernaut River Falls made perhaps the biggest play of the game on defense. Senior defensive end Jack Olson of Prescott High School, which is in Wisconsin somewhere, probably in Milwaukee, jumped to deflect and then corral a pass from North Central quarterback Garrett Wilson for an interception, setting up River Falls in the red zone at the North Central 11-yard line. One play later, Blaha again ran it, spotting River Falls a 10-point lead at 24-14. That's how the game ended. North Central had not trailed in the second half all season. They beat a team that not only hadn't lost in how many games? A bunch of games in a row. They haven't even been behind in the second half in a game all season. They're dominating everybody. North Central does not know how to play from behind. They're like, we're behind. North Central scored its opening possession and could have taken control of the game were it not for River Falls takeaways. Up a touchdown, looking to score in the second drive of the game, North Central fumbled the first down snap from the River Falls 7-yard line. A ball picked up by Gage Tim to thwart the scoring attempt. Tim, a Associated Press first-team All-American, hails from Shawano. I know exactly where Shawano is. My brother lives there. And a lot of his family. I think they live there. They might have moved, maybe not. Anyway, I know where Shawano is. It's just south of Anaco. With North Central ahead late in the first half, 14-10, Wilson's pass to the end zone was intercepted by River Falls' Taylor Sussner as time expired. So 3 turnovers are counting on here. River Falls, located across Wisconsin's border just more than 35 miles from Minneapolis, that's in western Wisconsin, had posted 19 consecutive losing seasons entering 2021. Walker and offensive coordinator Joe Matheson told The Athletic's Chris Vanini about how they evaluated the team's approach during the year off, compelled by the COVID-19 pandemic, eventually transforming the program into one that averages nearly 600 yards of offense per game. The hyperspeed tempo allows River Falls to average 85 offensive snaps. It says naps. Forgot a letter. Hello, editor at the Journal Sentinel. He averages 85 offensive naps per game. Wow, that's a lot of naps. I don't think I can have 85 naps in a month. But they're doing it one. It means snaps. It means the time they snaps the ball. Anyway, they average 85 offensive snaps per game and more than any other NCAA football team at any level. That means no huddles. They just get out there and play football. You just want to see playing. We don't want to see huddles. We don't see people walking. We want to see people running. Yeah, let's get some action out there. That's my editorial comment. It was desperation, Matheson said. If you have the personnel to run 12 personnel, that's what you do, but you had to find ways to get our kids success. People don't understand how important it is to have a head coach that's willing to do crazy things. 12 personnel is I think it's your 2 tight end running formation, which most colleges do because they don't have a quarterback that has an arm. I mean, the first thing you throw the ball, you got to have a quarterback that can get the ball to people without throwing interceptions, right? River Falls won its first outright Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference title, which is the WAIC, since 1985, before averaging 48 points per game over the first 4 playoff contests, including a thrilling 48-41 win over Johns Hopkins on December 20th in the semifinal. That game featured a go-ahead 79-yard touchdown between Blaha and Blake Rohrer with 45 seconds left. Yeah, that was a pretty good. I'm gonna watch the highlights of that one. Again, I didn't know Johns Hopkins had a football team. That's a medical school, as far as I know. But there's your story.
Very famous for medicine.
Yeah, that's it. That's your story on good news for football and good news for batteries. Metaphors.
Metaphor. Right. My metaphor is. The underdog's victory is illumining the sky with its unexpected brilliance.
Hey.
Can't believe they beat somebody who was like 0 loss. It must have gone to their head, right? It just must have completely gone to their head.
Well, if you're never behind, and this is what happens to good teams a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
If you're so good that you're just blowing everybody out, you can't handle adversity. When shit goes wrong, you don't know what the hell to do. Oh my God, something went wrong. We've never had this before. And that's what happens when you're any adversity and you fall apart. You used to have in your way. You know, it's kind of like millionaires and billionaires are so soft. Like, you know, we won't throw out examples out there, but you wouldn't let a billionaire do anything for you because he can't do anything. He used to have people doing things for him. Okay.
Let's roll our segue wheel for our next story.
Right.
And mine's also about technological advancements here. This is alliteration headline.
Oh boy, I got it right. Hey.
You've got the right to use the same letter at the beginning of every word. Okay. Our first story is coming from The Independent out of Glasgow by Nicole Wooton Kane. Scientists have developed a groundbreaking AI-powered headset that can predict epilepsy seizures before they occur. Researchers at Glasgow Caledonian University in Scotland said that first of its kind wearable device could help transform the way the condition is managed by alerting patients of impending seizure, giving them time to respond and allowing them to avoid any resulting injuries. Because the most dangerous thing about a seizure isn't that, well, it's pretty dangerous that you're having a seizure, but you can't control your body. You end up like you'd break your own neck, basically. You don't have the control that your body usually gives you to say, don't do that, you're gonna break something. And you can get very seriously injured having a seizure. It works by analyzing brain waves and heart functions to detect seizures, giving those with epilepsy more confidence about handling the condition, according to a lead researcher, Professor Hadi Larijani. Providing even a few minutes warning can be life-changing, he said. Our goal is to empower patients and families with the time to act, to stay safe, and live more independently. Epilepsy is a serious neurological condition that affects around 630,000 people in the UK alone. This is not even talking about everyone around the world. It can cause around 60 different types of seizures, which vary depending on where in the brain they are happening, according to charity Epilepsy Action. Professor Larijani said the headset is very unique, and the team hope to one day release it as a wearable device similar to a cap. He said, "We want it to be as discreet as possible, to be wireless, light. It's a lot of features that none of the other tools right now have." Researchers used thousands of hours of historical electroncephalography and electrocardiology recordings to train the system on a phantom head to simulate real use. The AI learned to identify the electrical and physiological patterns that precede a seizure. Once a pattern is identified, it can issue a timely alert, giving patients and families crucial minutes to prepare and stay safe. It has an accuracy up to 95%. That's crazy. And the AI algorithm can also display its levels of confidence about the chances of an impending seizure, empowering patients to manage their condition. You have a 10% chance of having a seizure in the next hour. Professor Larijani added, for families affected by epilepsy, even a brief warning means they can prevent injuries and reduce fear. That is the true measure of success for us. The team are still working to refine the design for the headset, which they hope will eventually be suitable for children to wear. But while the headset has promised potential, it is likely to be several years before it becomes widely available due to the need for regulatory approvals. Professor Larijani said, "The most regulated things are medical devices. It takes time to get through the hurdles, but I think we've done the initial feasibility testing both on the software and the hardware characteristics. Now we're looking at a more commercial-ready product that hopefully will be going through the hurdles of initial accreditation for medical devices." The research team has now secured fresh support from UK Research and Innovation through its £9 million proof of concept program. It comes after scientists developed an AI software that could help detect abnormalities in the brain linked to epilepsy that are sometimes missed by radiologists. The software, known as MELDgraph, was developed by scientists at King College London and University College London, UCL. So, less fear, more knowing what your body's doing. This is kind of similar, if I can do a quick simile. This is kind of similar to how our diabetes monitors work, right? You can get the one where you just put it in your skin, and then it can connect to your phone, and then your phone will be like, "Watch out! Your blood sugar's low. Eat a Snickers or something." So we're just unlocking way more ways for technology to help us with our conditions that are just completely random, really. Otherwise, you got me some alliteration?
Yes. Possible preventive procedure permitted for paroxysm patients. Paroxysm is paroxysm. I think I pronounced it right. It's just another name for a seizure. I had to look that one up.
I had no idea. That's pretty cool. My next story is coming out of... Where is it coming out of? I already forgot what it was. We might be able to regrow knee cartilage. Isn't that fun? This is from Andy Corbally on Good News Network. An injection that blocks the activity of protein involved in aging reverses naturally occurring cartilage loss in the knee joints of old mice, a Stanford medicine-led study has found. The treatment also prevented the development of arthritis after knee injuries, such as an ACL tear, often experienced by athletes or recreational exercisers. Which, if you get an ACL tear, you basically can't ever play again. That's it, you're done. An oral version of the treatment is already in clinical trials with the goal of treating age-related muscle weakness. Samples of human tissue from knee replacement surgeries in the joint also responded to the treatment by making new, functional cartilage as a result, which suggests that in the future, knee and hip replacement may be totally unnecessary. Hello, Desi. Thank you for checking in, and happy Tuesday. Treatment directly targets the cause of osteoarthritis, a degenerative joint disease that affects 1 of every 5 adults in the United States and is estimated to cost about $65 billion in direct healthcare costs each year. Prevention or a replacement is the only strategy society-wide, and as no drug can slow down or reverse the disease. The protein blocked by the injection, 15-PGDH, is a master regulator of aging and is in fact termed a gerozyme due to its increase in prevalence of body ages. Gerozymes also drive the loss of tissue function. They are a major force behind age-related loss of muscle strength in mice. Blocking the function of 15-PGDH with a small molecule results in an increase in old animals' muscle mass and endurance. Conversely, expressing 15-PGDH in young mice causes their muscles to shrink and weaken. In bone, nerve, and blood cells, regeneration is due to an increase in the proliferation and specialization of tissue-specific stem cells. However, cartilage-generating chronodocytes change their pattern of gene expression to assume a more youthful state without the involvement of stem cells. So basically what they do is this one function of 15-PGDH tells your cartilage, stop making more. The store's closed, factory's offline, But when you block that, what is it even called? The gerozyme from telling your cartilage to stop generating. You just keep generating it, and you keep on making cartilage, and you don't have osteoarthritis anymore. Well, you help attack the things that are causing osteoarthritis. This is a new way of regenerating adult tissue and has significant clinical promise for treating arthritis due to aging or injury, said Helen Blau, PhD, professor of microbiology and immunology. We are looking for stem cells, but they are clearly not involved. It's very exciting. That's right, we don't need to harvest stem cells for this. We can just tell this thing to stop killing cartilage. Millions of people suffer from joint pain and swelling as they age, said Blau's colleague and co-senior author Nidhi Bhutani, a PhD and associate professor of orthopedic surgery. It is a huge unmet medical need. Until now, there has been no drug that directly treats the cause of cartilage loss, but the gerozyme inhibitor causes a dramatic regeneration of cartilage beyond the reported in the response to any other drug or intervention. It's that good. There are 3 main types of cartilage in the human body. 1. Hyaline cartilage. It's smooth and glossy, providing a low-friction surface for lubrication and flexibility in joints like the ankles, the hips, shoulders, and parts of the knee. Hyaline cartilage, also known as articular cartilage, is the cartilage most commonly affected by osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis occurs when a joint is stressed by aging, injury, or obesity. The chondrocytes begin to release pro-inflammatory molecules to break down the collagen, which is the primary structural protein of cartilage. When collagen is lost, the cartilage thins and softens. The accompanying inflammation causes the joint swelling and pain that are hallmarks of the disease. Under normal circumstances, articular cartilage rarely regenerates. Although some populations of putative stem or progenitor cells capable of generating cartilage have been identified in bones, attempts to identify similar populations of cells in the articular cartilage have been unsuccessful. So, similar to the results observed in animals with knee injuries like the ACL tears, the cartilage regeneration to such an extent in aged mice took them by surprise, Bhutani said. The effect was remarkable. The inhibiting of 15-PGHD activity, first in the abdomen, which affects the entire body, then directly in the joint, in each case the knee cartilage, which was markedly thinner and less functional in older animals as compared with younger mice, thickened across the joint surface. Further experiments confirmed that the chondrocytes in the joint were generating hyaline or articular cartilage rather than the less functional fibrocartilage. So it actually turned off and said, hey, start making more. Similar results were observed in animal. Oh, we already talked about that. Well, the tears can be surgically repaired. An ACL tear in about 50% of people develop osteoarthritis due to it within about 15 years. The researchers found that the injections twice a week for 4 weeks of the inhibitor after the injury dramatically reduced the chance that osteoarthritis developed in the mice. A closer investigation of the chondrocytes in the joints of old mice and young mice showed that old chondrocytes expressed more detrimental genes involved in inflammation and the conversion of hyaline cartilage to unwanted bone, and fewer genes involved in cartilage development. The researchers studied human cartilage tissue removed from patients with osteoarthritis, undergoing total knee replacements. The tissue treated with the 15-PGDH inhibitor for 1 week exhibited lower levels of the gene of the zyome, expressing chondrocytes and lowering cartilage degradation and fibrocartilage genes than control tissue, and began to regenerate articular cartilage. So basically what I'm saying here is they tested it first on mice, then on actual human cartilage, with osteoarthritis already in that cartilage, right? So it was already infected, so to say. It was already degenerating, and they found that as soon as they started blocking the PGDH, 15-PGDH, the cartilage started regenerating again. So that's phase 1 of the clinical trials done for the muscle weakness, and have shown that it's safe and active in human and healthy volunteers. So they have already started testing on humans. Our hope is that a similar trial will be launched soon to test its effect in cartilage regeneration. We're very excited about this potential breakthrough. Imagine regrowing existing cartilage and avoiding joint replacement. So here, this as Andy Corbley says at the end of this article, share these amazing results with your friend whose knees are bad. And that's why when you turn 30, you start feeling your knees aching, because this 15-PGDH is basically telling your knees, hey, time to turn off. Close the factory. Give me alliteration headline for that.
Let's see, non-invasive knee procedure is nigh. I don't know. I just went down the end thing and got nowhere.
You should have put that one too.
Headline. Terrible job. There's absolutely nothing available at the end for this story. I apologize.
All right, let's go to our next story. For you, your good news. Pulling the segue wheel.
Okay. One good story today. We're going to try to plow through it. It looks like a long story.
I'm going to write an alliteration now.
Edited for content. Public domain review.org is an actual organization, and they're celebrating Happy Public Domain Day. And you got yourself an alliteration, huh? Okay. I can't spell. That's cool. All right, Public Domain Day. This is what January 1st was, not today, but we're going to recall what happens. The calendar turns once again, and once again a lively procession of books, images, films, music leaves copyright behind and steps into the ever-growing public domain. On this year's Public Domain Day, which falls on January 1st, we welcome in lots of countries around the world we welcome in lots of countries around the world the words of Wallace Stevens, Thomas Mann, Hannah Arendt, and Albert Einstein. And in the U.S., a bevy of brilliant books, including William Faulkner's As I Lie Dying, Langston Hughes's Not Without Laughter, Agatha Christie's The Murder in the Vicarage, and in the original German, Robert Musil's The Man Without Qualities, and Hermann Hesse's Narcissus and Goldmund. Due to differing copyright laws around the world, there is no one single public domain. There are 3 main types of copyright termed for historical works, which cover most cases. For these 3 systems newly entering the public domain are, Number 1, works by people who died in 1955. For countries with a copyright term of life plus 70 years, relevant in the UK and most of the EU and South America. The second condition, works by people who died in 1975. For countries with a term of life plus 50 years, relevant to most of Africa and Asia. Films in the third category, films and books, including artworks featured, published in 1929, which is relative solely in the United States. Some of you, babe, let's not do that.
Thanks to Disney, the U.S. copyright laws are the longest because they just kept on saying, "Hey, extend it more, extend it more, extend it more."
Yeah, Disney's been dead for like 50 years, but somebody's making money, right? It's like, oh, come on, man, the guy's been gone forever, and he's still frozen. Entering the public domain in the U.S. is William Faulkner's As I Lay Dying. It's a Southern Gothic novel by American author William Faulkner, consistently ranked among the best novels of the 20th century. The title is derived from William Morris's 1925 translation of Homer's Odyssey, referring to the similar themes of both works. The novel traces the story of the death of Addie Bundren and her poor rural family's quest to honor her wish to be buried in her hometown, Jefferson, Mississippi, as well as the motives, noble or selfish, they show in the journey. It uses a stream of consciousness writing technique and varying chapter lengths and is narrated by 15 different characters over 59 chapters. Faulkner really got busy when he went writing. Another place is entering the public domain is Arthur Ransom's Swallows and Amazons. No, it's not the bookstore and the internet. It's the actual river. Swallows and Amazons, a children's adventure book by English author Arthur Ransom, with the E at the end, is the first book of the Swallows and Amazon series, followed by Swallowdale, set in the summer of 1929, England's Lake District. The book relates to outdoor adventures and play of two families of children. Another book we talk about is The Living Mountain by Nan Shepherd. It's called The Weather House by Nan Shepherd, but the title on the book says The Living Mountain. Whatever. The Weather House is a second novel by Anna Nan Shepherd, a Scottish modernist writer. The novel concerns interactions between people in a small rural Scottish community. It belongs in a great line of Scottish fiction dealing with complex interactions with small communities, especially the community of women, and touching and hilarious network of mothers, daughters, spinsters, and widows. It's also a striking meditation on the nature of power, truth, and the human longing and mystery of being. Shepherd's fiction brings out sharp conflict between the demands of tradition and full of modernity, particularly in women's lives. She wrote three novels. The Living Mountain is one of them, and The Weather House is another one. And did we get to the third one? I might have mentioned it. Either way, you can check those out. Just check out the author, because this is not necessarily about when they were written. It's about when they died. Mm-hmm. So when they died, plus 50. When they died, plus
everything
70.
Everything they can hold credit to is now public domain. Yep.
Langston Hughes' Not Without Laughter is a debut novel of Langston Hughes, American writer, activist, leader of the Harlem Renaissance. The novel portrays African-American life in Kansas in the 1910s, focusing on the effects of class and religion in the community, and telling the story of Sandy Rogers, a young African-American boy in a small town, Kansas, and his family. His mother, Angie, and housekeeper for a wealthy white family, his irresponsible father, Jim Boy, who plays the guitar and travels the country in search of employment. So the roots of, I would say, the African Americans' experience in America in the 20th century. So I would say Hughes has said that Not Without Laughter is a semi-autobiographical, and a good portion of characters setting included in the novel are based on memories of growing up in Lawrence, Kansas. Another book that's hitting the shelves as a public domain, as in, hey, this is free, we can just download it and keep it. Hermann Hesse, Narcissus and Goldmund, is also published in English as Death and a Lover, is a novel written by the German-Swiss author Hermann Hesse, or Hesse, S-E-S-S-E. At its publication was considered Hesse's literary triumph. The novel's story of a young man, Goldmund, German for Goldmouth, who wanders aimlessly through medieval Germany after leaving a Catholic monastery school in search of what could be described as the meaning of life. With the help of Narcissus, a gifted young teacher, and following an epiphanic experience, epiphany in other words, and a beautiful gypsy woman. Goldman leaves the monastery and embarks on a wandering existence. Like most of his works, the main theme of this book is the wanderer's struggle to find themselves. Another book, All Quiet on the Western Front. If you know that book, All Quiet on the Western Front. It's a 1930 American. This is a movie. We're going away from books. We're going to movies now, which are now in public domain. All Quiet on the Western Front, 1930 American pre-code epic anti-war film based on 1929 novel of the same name by German novelist Erich Maria Remarque. Directed by Louis Millstone, it stars Lou Ayres, Louis Wolheim, John Race, Slim Somerville, and William Blakewell. The movie follows a group of German students moved to enlist in the Army as part of the new Second Company. Their romantic delusions are quickly shattered. Their brief but rigorous training on the abusive Sergeant Himmelstas. After being sent to the Western Front, the idealism is destroyed by harsh realities of combat. Yeah. Basically, just trench warfare will kill all your ideologies pretty fast. And another one, Vile Bodies, which is written by Evelyn Waugh. Vile Bodies is the second novel by author Evelyn St. John Waugh, an English writer of novels, biographies, and travel books. A prolific journalist and book reviewer, it satirizes London's post-First World War bright young things, a group of bohemian young aristocrats and socialites in London, and the press coverage around them. Waugh originally considered the title Bright Young Things, but changed it. The published title echoes a narrator's remark on the crowds and parties. Those vile bodies. Yeah. Old people resent young people having fun. Don't fool yourself. That's what it's all about. It's like, I wish I could have fun like that. Urgh. That's what it is, man. The novel follows a vivid assortment of characters, among them the struggling writer Adam Fenwick Symes, the glamorous aristocrat Nina Blunt, who hunt fast and furiously for ever greater sensation and the hedonistic fulfillment of their desires. Waugh's acidly funny satire reveals the darkness and vulnerability beneath the sparkling surface of high life. Another book, let's do another thing. David Bowie cited the novel as a primary influence in writing of his song Aladdin Sane, and the film adaptation, written and directed by Stephen Fry, was released in 2003. I might go to see that. I have not heard of it, but I want to see Vile Bodies. I want to see what this is about, man. These are the films. If they're audio books, I'll listen to them. I'm not good at reading anymore. My eyes get really, really... Until I get my eyes fixed, I don't think I can read very well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I got cataracts. I got other problems. Years of Grace is the first book by American playwright, novelist, and short story writer Margaret Ayer Barnes that won the Pulitzer Prize for the novel in 1931. The story, beginning in the 1890s, continues in the 1930s. Chronicles the life of Jane Ward Carver from teens to age 54. The New York Times commended the story of the death of an old order and the birth of a new one, a properly renewed conflict between succeeding generations. Holds the reader's attention to the end. Despite the success of Years of Grace, it is not Barnes' best-known work. That honor belongs to Dishonored Lady, a play she co-wrote with Edward Sheldon, which is adapted twice in a film. Other ones, we're gonna do Hellbound Train. It was a movie written and directed by James and Eloise Gist. Other on here, Robert Musil's The Man Without Qualities, unfinished modern novel in various drafts by the Austrian writer Robert Musil. Its German translation isn't what I'm reading, but in American it says The Man Without Qualities, which is an interesting title. And I think maybe John Lennon might have used this for his song Nowhere Man, but that's not referenced on here. We have a T.S. Eliot novel, Ash Wednesday. A long poem, during his 1927 conversion to Anglicanism. Anglicanism? Really? You converted to Anglicanism? Anglicanism is a church that just basically is England. It's England's church. I mean, I don't even know you convert to that. It's like, I want a religion that's just a bunch of formalities, right? Anyway, sometimes referred to as Eliot's conversion poem, Ash Wednesday, with the base of Dante's Purgatorio. All right, anyway, that's T.S. Eliot's entry into the the things that are now public domain. Agatha Christie has something, The Murder at the Vicarage. Agatha Christie's Murder at the Vicarage, we already mentioned that, as a work of detective fiction. Of course, that's what Agatha Christie specialized in. The Castle, which is a English translation of Frank Kafka. The Castle, a novel by Frank Kafka, is a protagonist known as Only Kay arrives in a village and struggles to gain access to mysterious authorities, a governor from a castle supposedly owned by Count West. Kafka died before he could finish the work, but suggested it would end with Kay dying in the village, the castle notifying his deathbed that his legal claim to the village would not. We don't want to go give away book endings. Jesus, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Now, here's another one, Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, Civilization and Discontents. Yeah, a book by Sigmund Freud that was published in 1929, not published in 30 as Das Überhagen in der Kultur, The Uneasiness of Civilization. There's your Freud book if you want one of those. Stella Benson's The Faraway Bride, the most famous book by the English feminist novel. That one's in public domain. We're just going to rip through these. Vladimir Nabokov, the guy who wrote Lolita, if you've heard of him, he has a book called The Defense. So Nabokov has something coming up for public domain. Another one, The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett.
Crazy how many of these
Dashiell
people
Hammett's,
not only are gone, but they've been gone that long.
Yep. This one was released in 1929. Again, these had to be released before the people died, and they've all been dead for at least, 75 or, I'm sorry, 1929 puts it at almost 100 years. There's a lot of books on this list. I could read them all. They should have just put it in list form instead of making me do all the scrolling. With Albert Einstein on the list. Albert Einstein, what did he do? The ones that are ending with a 70-year copyright on them, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, German-born theoretical physicist known for developing their theory of relativity. His Annus Mirabilis miracle year, he published 4 groundbreaking papers. In them, he outlined a theory of photoelectric effect, explained Bohrinian motion, introduced a special theory of relativity, and demonstrate that this theory is correct. Mass and energy are equivalent to each other. Also in here, Wallace Stevens, American modernist poet. Other works by, who else? Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker, American jazz saxophonist, band leader, composer. Parker was highly influential. Jazz, also called the Bird, Charlie Parker. His style of composition involved in interpolation of original melodies over existing jazz forms. And Miles Davis said you can tell the history of jazz in 4 words: Louis Armstrong and Charlie Parker. Thomas Mann's work, the German novelist, short story writer, all of his stuff's available. Also, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin was a French Jesuit Catholic priest, scientist, paleontologist, philosopher, mystic. He had a lot of things. He wrote a lot of stuff. His stuff's available. Other people, all their stuff is available. Roger Mace was a Jamaican journalist, novelist, poet, and playwright. His stuff's available. Sadat Hassan Manto was a Pakistani writer, playwright, novelist. Oh, wow, we're getting down this list. Anyway, there's a lot of people on this list that I have not heard of. We get to the
now
bottom.
they're available for free, so I guess are in public domain.
PJ Wodehouse, if you know
excuse
PJ
not to know
Wodehouse.
them anymore.
There's the list. Walker Evans, if you know who that is. There you go. Also, all the work by Hannah Arendt and Barbara Hepworth. All of their work. So, these are the 70-year people. Like, Sadat. Yeah, we did everybody. That's everybody on the list. Sorry it went so long, but it was a hell of a lot longer if I read the whole thing. So, just appreciate that part of it. I could be reading this all day. There's your story.
Lots of copyright. Gone forever.
Alliteration headline. Right. Yeah.
No,
Well, those people don't care about the
during that too. That's funny. Okay. My alliteration is Delightful Discoveries Dance in the Domain. So.
All right. Let's have some.
All that new content to consume. Or I should say old content that's new for you, because now you don't have to pay arm and a leg.
In other words,
to it.
you could You could republish that under your own freaking little library of shit that you want to do, and nobody can sue you because nobody owns it.
Yeah, exactly. That's your only story, I'm assuming.
That's it. That was really long, so
Yeah.
I'm just grateful. Grateful that
Are you
it
sure?
was my only story.
I guess you could keep reading the list for your second story.
No, man, I went through it. I went probably through like 20 books, right?
All right. Now you
All
need
right,
to give
so
me an
let's have
accurate
it.
metaphor or simile.
Metaphors. Okay.
It's so close to hitting limerick, but then it just doesn't hit it.
Yeah.
My story is, well, it's mostly good news, goodish news, bittersweet news. The Critics' Choice Awards happened over the weekend, and they were able to give Rob Reiner a memoriam. Actually, not they, it was Chelsea Handler who gave it. This is by Zach Sharf on Variety. Rob Reiner received an emotional tribute at the 2026 Critics' Choice Award, which took place less than a month after the director and his wife's tragic deaths. Chelsea Handler was the host of the award ceremony and finished her opening monologue by sharing heartfelt words about the late director. Everyone in this room knows that the nicest guy in Hollywood was Rob Reiner, Handler said. Anyone who ever spent time with Rob Reiner knows that the minute you met him, he felt like an old friend when you were in a conversation with him. He was present, he was focused, and he was funny, and we'd ask you tons of questions, whether you were discussing politics or film or the latest beauty trends. He was all in after I sent him a text thanking him for dinner a few months ago. He texted me back and said, "We had so much fun with you last night. Thanks for explaining so much about plastic surgery. It was very edifying." That was supposed to be a joke. Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer, were found dead in their home on December 14th. The Oscar-nominated filmmaker of The Princess Bride, This Is Spinal Tap, Misery, and More was 78 years old. Reiner's son Nick was arrested in connection with his parents' death. Rob and Michelle were tireless in their efforts to so many important causes, all stemming from one basic idea: decency, and that we should all look out for one another, Handler continued. I think we can all agree that we definitely need more of that. So let us use tonight as a reminder of the decency and a reminder of everything Rob and Michelle represented and fought so hard for. In the aftermath of Reiner's death, many of his former collaborators issued statements honoring his legacy and friendship. A group of his closest Hollywood friends, including Billy Crystal and Larry David, Martin Short, and Albert Brooks, released a joint statement in which Reiner was praised not only as a great comic actor, but also a master storyteller. There is no other director who has his range, the statement read. For comedy to drama to mockumentary to documentary, he was always at the top of his game. He charmed audiences. They trusted him. They lined up to see his films. His comedic touch was beyond compare. His love of getting the music of the dialogue just right and his sharpening of the edge of a drama was simply elegant. Reiner's death continued to make national news when the clown-in-chief, convicted felon Donald Trump, used Truth Social to attack the late director. The U.S. president alleged Reiner's death was due to anger he caused others. Yeah, because he seemed to have angered a lot of people. He was very loved. Jimmy Kimmel, for instance, bashed the clown for his hateful and vile rhetoric, for going after Reiner after such a tragic death. The late-night host added, "What we need at a time like this, besides common sense when it comes to guns and mental health care, is compassion and leadership. We did not need to get that from our president, but he has none of that to give. Instead, we got a fool rambling about nonsense." Fuck that guy. Let's celebrate Rob Reiner and his compassion and caring for others and his ability to turn a joke and make things funny, even at the ridiculousness of the society and reality we live in now. And I know there was a couple of quotes Rob Reiner had about the things he stood for, which I think is a lot of things us on Before Coffee stand for.
Yep.
Like, I think, let me look at the
I
one.
have not seen, I suppose he made some bad movies, but I have not seen a bad Rob Reiner movie.
Yeah. But it's not just about that, right? It's not just, oh, he made some good art, but he was also a good person, right? At least according to everyone who knew him, right? He was trying his best to be a good person. He wasn't out there just being a complete scumbag like some people. Like this quote he said in the past, the most important thing is that you be a good person and you live by the golden rule of do unto others. If you live by that, that's all Rob Reiner cares about. But he also, he had some political beliefs and he cared about other people, so. Rob Reiner again, we're still talking about him 3 weeks later. Give me your simile or metaphor.
A metaphor, Rob Reiner's that guy you just never really appreciated until he's gone. And that's the metaphor. It's like something you never appreciate. It's like, oh boy, who's ever going to make any good movies again? That's the way I feel. It's going to be, there's one less person that's going to take a freaking movie that was never going to get made and make it a good movie. Instead of going, oh boy, they really went cheap on this piece of crap. And he provided funding for struggling artists. That's very well needed in this age.
Very good of him, for sure.
Yes.
And I guess that's what's also so shocking about the death, right? Like, it could have happened to a good person, a better person.
Right.
Like, if like, for example, if you hear Charlie Sheen's died, well, like, he was addicted to drugs, so not surprised. I'm just saying, right?
Right.
Like, what was Rob Reiner doing to put himself in trouble? Nothing, really.
Rob Reiner wanted to make Spinal Tap 2, the sequel, but unfortunately, none of the people in the movie had the rights. And so the guys in the movie went ahead and acquired the rights to make the movie, the second sequel, to make a sequel. And then they at least made the sequel in 2025. That got made, which is what the clips I've seen, I'm going to watch it. But I haven't seen the whole movie. All is available to watch, but I haven't been in a mood to watch anything by Rob Reiner, right? It's like, man, it's just so depressing. Really, it's personally depressing.
Yeah.
This day in history, let's spin the wheel.
Let's spin the wheel.
We're almost at noon time here, local. 19,
Hopefully
18,
won't give
15.
me the same thing again for the 15th time in a row. It is associate. I'm going to associate something in this day in history with whatever I want. Ha ha ha. This is the easiest segue. Just talk about whatever. I mean, non sequitur is the easiest, but this is the next easiest one.
Haha. Right. Okay. 1540, Henry VIII of England married Anne of Cleves, the fourth of his 6 wives, and didn't end well for her either. 1759, we were just talking about the Church of England, right? We're talking about T.S. Eliot converting to Anglicanism. Anglicanism was only invented so Henry VIII could get divorced. In 1759, George Washington, the future first president of the United States, married Martha Dandridge, a widow, in Virginia. So the happy couple got married in 1759. On this day, 1811, American Civil War statesman Charles Sumner was born in Boston. He was almost beaten to death on the floor of the House by a absolute asshole who was in favor of slavery. 1838, composer Mac Bruch, known for his Scottish Fantasy and Violin Concerto No. 1, which are still in repertoire today, was born in Cologne, which is today in Germany. I didn't know it was somewhere else before. But he was born in Cologne, which was probably part of one of them German small Vichy states, or whatever they called them back then. Not Vichy. What's the word? I'll think of it. I'll think in a little while. 1878, poet, historian, and folklorist Carl Sandburg was born in Galesburg, Illinois. His Abraham Lincoln, The Warriors, won the Pulitzer Prize for History in 1940. And he was how old then? He was 62 in 1940. 1941, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt outlined his 4 freedoms in the State of the Union message to Congress. And he didn't last too much longer after that. Oh, 1941. No, he lasted another 4 years, didn't he? This was his third term. Started his third term. 1950, Great Britain announced its recognition of the People's Republic of China. Hey, I recognize you guys. 1959, at small gathering to celebrate the new year, the Mirabelle sisters decided to create a nationwide movement in the Dominican Republic to oppose the dictatorship of Rafael Trujillo. That's interesting. The Mirabelle sisters were some singers? I had no idea what that means. The Mirabelle sisters. Okay. 1966, composer A.R. Rahman, known as the Mozart of the Madras, was born in Madras, India, now called the Chennai, or something like that. 1973, subject of our mic drop, Schoolhouse Rock debuted in the ABC. During the heyday of Saturday morning children's television program, it became one of the most successful education projects in U.S. history. I'd watch Schoolhouse Rock, and if the show that came on after it wasn't any good, I'd change channels. Because Schoolhouse Rock was better than most of the stuff on ABC's
so
channel.
it's timeless. You can still watch it today, and all that stuff still means what it means.
Hopefully. At least for now it does. In 1974, one of the dumbest things ever invented was, I don't know, screwed down into our culture even more in an effort to conserve energy. And I have no idea how this conserves energy during an oil crisis. Daylight savings time begins several months early in the United States. It was slated to remain in place for more than a year to change, however, proved highly unpopular, and its duration was later amended. Yeah, you're not saving anything. Would you stop messing with the clocks? It doesn't change a damn thing. It doesn't change anything. Stop doing it. Stop changing the clocks. Leave them alone. Leave the fucking clocks alone. Stop this nonsense. But they turned the nonsense up to 11 in 1974 with that nonsense. It just absolute stupidity, thinking that's going to save energy somehow. 1993, American jazz making people not go to work would save energy, not making them go an hour later or an hour earlier, whatever the hell your plan was. I think it was an hour earlier, right? Well, I suppose you save energy if you make people go to work an hour earlier because the factories aren't lit, these big factories that can't afford lighting, so it's a lot easier to operate a factory during the day, so you just don't have to light the whole thing, right? That little thing. But to me, it's like, why doesn't the factory itself just change their hours? It's the simplest thing in the world. Why does everybody else have to adjust? It makes no sense. Anyway, 2001, U.S. Congress certified George Bush as President of the United States, which he did not win the election, did not win the popular vote, he did not win the Electoral College. He won because the Supreme Court decided, Florida don't matter. We got a winner. Let's stop counting ballots. Who cares about voters' rights? We're worried about George Bush's rights only. The only person with rights in the entire world in 2001, the Supreme Court, it's actually in 2000, late 2000, the only person with rights in the entire United States was George W. Bush. Every voter in the world had no rights, except George W. Bush was the one with rights. Al Gore had no rights, voters had no rights, just George W. Bush. One of the worst decisions in the history of anything. 2002, the Boston Globe launched its Spotlight series exposing rampant sexual abuse by the Roman Catholic clergy in Boston. Just Boston, by the way, not everywhere.
Yeah,
the paper won in 2000. Yeah, it isn't like, it stops in Boston. No. The paper won the 2003 Pulitzer Prize for Public Service and its courageous, comprehensive reporting of the abuse. And again, they catch what happening was they catch a priest or whoever abusing children, and they would just transfer them. And that was it. That was his punishment. New kids to molest. That was his punishment. 2021, we know what happened here. A bunch of jackasses stormed the Capitol of the United States because Trump told him to, and somehow he didn't go to prison that very day. And he's still not in prison. In fact, we elected him president again because we're all a bunch of fucking morons. And by the way, they just caught the U.S. Capitol pipe bomber, and he's already claiming he's been pardoned by Trump, and he is 100% right. He's been pardoned by Trump. He's not going to be punished. He's free to build bombs all he wants because Trump pardoned everybody. Didn't pardon them by name. He pardoned everybody. So he's screwed up, and now anybody that's ever arrested for anything in this country is going to be, hey, I was pardoned by Trump, right? Pardon me. I can do that. I can pardon. Blanket pardons work that way, man. Hey, I did this on January 6th. That was me. I'm pardoned now. Other events today, it's Epiphany. It's celebrated annual this day. It's a major fest for the commemorates for Western Christians the coming of the Magi, and for Eastern Orthodox religion, Jesus' birth, and baptism by John, and the first miracle. So a lot of things happen. Epiphany Day. Epiphany, again, is one of those things where you just realize something you may have overlooked for your entire life, and all of a sudden the puzzle pieces in your brain make a connection, and you go, holy shit! I don't have to do this? You're kidding! Yeah, epiphanies are great, right? You realize something. They can be painful too, right? They can be, oh my God, I've been wasting my time. And also on this day is the Whack Heard Around the World. On this day in 1992 at an ice rink in Detroit, figure skater Nancy Kerrigan was clubbed in the leg by a man dressed in black. The inquiry forced her to withdraw from the U.S. Figure Skating Championship, clearing the way for her rival Tanya Harding to win the competition and qualify for the 1994 Winter Olympics, and gain the center of attention to one of figure skating's biggest scandals. And then we got to learn a whole bunch of people's names that we didn't want to know. It was the White Trash Olympic, 1994.
The whole entire
White
relationship
trash.
web.
We got to learn who Jeff Gillooly was. Gillooly. The best part of Tanya Harding's husband's name being Gillooly was watching Tom Brokaw on the NBC News trying to say Gillooly. It was Jeff Gillooly. I'm sorry. I don't want to pick on Tom Brokaw, but he was hard to listen to sometimes. He just couldn't pronounce certain words, and Gillooly was one of them. It sounded like he was saying Gillooly. Jeff Gillooly. He couldn't say Gillooly. That's a hell of a... Too many L's in that name. Our featured birthday, our Richard II, the King of England, born January 2nd, 1367 in Bordeaux, France. He died in Pontefract, England in 1400 at age 33. Apparently, no, I think it was Richard II. Richard III is the one that was buried in a parking lot, right? He was buried in a parking lot, and they dug up his parking lot bones, and they found out he was not actually related to anybody in the royal family except for the mistress of one of the kings or something, and that's it. Jedediah Smith's birthday today. Jedediah Smith, American explorer, born in 1799. Loretta Young, American actress, born in 1913. Rowan Atkinson, British actor. If you know Mr. Bean, that's who that is. Mr. Bean turning a bright young 70 today. He was born in 1955. 1967 is the birthday of A.R. Rahman, Indian composer, singer, songwriter, and music producer. And Eddie Redmayne, British actor, born in 1982, is turning 44 today. It's National Cuddle Up Day. It's National Technology Day, because technology, again, is great, but it's making us stupid. So, the double-edged sword of technology. Yes, it's going to do stuff you don't want to do, but then you're going to lose important life skills, and pretty soon, you're just going to be sitting in a room alone, clicking on buttons as the world collapses around you. Way to go, technology!
I love doing that. What do you mean?
What are you talking about? I haven't been outside in 6 years. That's not a problem.
Button. I like click
you
button.
You must pay rent. Pay rent. Click. Stimulate self. Click button. Yeah. That's stimulating. Oh, that's stimulating. Oh boy, what else? What else can you do from your machine? Oh. Technological masters are letting us down constantly. AI is ruining the country, but hey, let's celebrate it for some damn reason. Anyway, and it's National Bean Day. It's National Shortbread Day, in case you can't afford.
Oh, I love a shortbread. Scottish shortbread.
Bread that's normal size. I want my bread fully sized. Thank you very much. What is shortbread? I don't know.
Don't you just use shortening?
I know what.
Or something?
I don't know. I don't know what shortbread is. I just heard the word. Don't know what it means. Don't know what it means at all. So.
All right, well, let's read. It says here, shortbread is a traditional Scottish dessert typically made with 1 part white sugar, 2 parts butter, and 3 parts flour. That's it. It's just a Scottish way of making bread.
All right.
Mary Queen of Scots receives credit for the innovation of shortbread during the 16th century, as it was expensive to make. The sweet cookie was reserved as a luxury for special occasions.
Right on.
There you go. I could probably make some shortbread. That
I
seems
could.
like an easy recipe.
Okay. Well, as your days, it's a lot of things today. Actually, not a lot of things, but it's those are your. We didn't do limerick today, did we? We did a bunch of metaphors. We did mispronunciations, but we had a lot of good news. A lot of good news. For January 6th, 2025 on Before Beans and Shortbread.
I don't know about that part, but I love shortbread. Not sure about beans on them, but
They may say this, that our love don't amount to a hill of beans, but this is our
well, we'll associate
this is
this
our
with
hill, and those are our
is there's
beans.
this funny
Yeah.
trend happening on social media right now where you get people who are replacing weird stuff in recipes with something else, right? And then they reply in the in the review of the recipe, I replaced meat with beans, and I replaced the cream sauce with mushroom sauce, and it was awful. And then people go, you didn't follow the recipe. You can't say the recipe's bad. You were, like, why would you replace that with that, So that's what I'm gonna associate that with this day in history with, though. I replaced the eggs with glue, and this tasted awful. Well, first of all, do not eat glue. That's your first mistake.
Right. I've seen, there's a recipe about some lady that made some really awful cake, and she substituted the wrong ingredients, and it was like, I think it ended up tasting like a cake of salt or something. She just added all the stuff that had been seasoned. Instead of using fresh, pure ingredients, she used the canned stuff with all kinds of additives.
Oh, this requires
like,
fresh garlic. I'll just put garlic powder, which if anybody cooks, garlic powder is not a replacement for fresh garlic. There's a whole different thing going on there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it isn't even that. It was just more radical than that. She just skipped all the proper ingredients.
Skip all the steps and then
stuff.
complain that it's an awful recipe.
All right, let's do us.
There's no international days this week. It's just January, and January is basically, let's not celebrate anything. We celebrated enough, don't you think? So, we will see you guys tomorrow. This has been Allison from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we finish up another Good Tuesday News Day. I hope you feel you have hope back in humanity again as we have discovered all these crazy things going on. Speaking of crazy, tomorrow's going to be Wacky and Weird Wednesday, in which we will divulge to you what weird animals are doing things and humans are making weird decisions and the wackiness abound. So make sure that you're subscribed. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share this YouTube channel with your friends. Let people know that we're out here. We're making a podcast. We are AI, not AI. We're not artificial.
AI.
And we're not intelligent. And we can promise you that much.
Wait a minute. We're AAI. AAI.
Anti-AI.
Artificial intelligence. Anti-artificial intelligence. AAI.
So make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, turn on, and so you know when we go live and post a video. And of course, if you'd like to support us, you can check out the Patreon, which is in the link in the description somewhere. Let's go. Wait, did you even send me a mic drop moment? I think you didn't even tell me you did it, so I didn't even look for it.
And I did tell you.
It's fine.
Yes, I did tell you.
You gotta say I sent you a video, otherwise I'm not looking at my Facebook at all.
Yeah, when I mentioned Schoolhouse Rock, I said it was and I did mention it.
It's fine.
Right.
We got it.
And wait, and I'll sing. Time for me to sing.
Time for you to sing.
I don't know, man.
Is this your song? Are you singing right now?
No, I'm not singing. I'm waiting.
Oh, I thought you said you were. I thought you said you were gonna sing.
No, I just said I wasn't gonna sing.
That good old sarcasm right there.
Yeah, I was like, saying I'm gonna sing doesn't mean I'm gonna sing. It means, I got nothing to sing. I had nothing prepared. I assumed you had the video, and that's where I sit. The impatient waiting period, because I can't think of anything right now to even say. or talk about.
Your brain is melted completely.
It's good Tuesday news day, and anything I talk about is not going to be good news. So I'm not going to talk. I would just sit here and wait for your video to load.
Did you have a good? Did you scratch your back really well recently? You got a good scratch on the back, or
no?
Had a good shower recently? I don't know.
Shower? What's a shower?
Okay.
You have to have some place to go to take a shower. The other day, I suppose. Yeah, why?
I'm just trying to think of some good things that are going on in your life.
Not a damn thing going on in my life. That's the way I like it. I don't want things going on in my life.
That's good. I agree with that. All right, we have the video slotted in. Let's go to our mic drop moment.
All right.
Green screen.
Hopefully mine loads now.
I know it's your green screen that's being rude.
Can you tell me about the Constitution? Hey, learn about the USA.
This is why, if you watch Schoolhouse Rock and you still don't know anything, there's no hope for you. They musicalized it.
Right? And it doesn't really... It's for stupid people who learn the Constitution.
Yeah. Exactly. Just put this on repeat in, like, the White House.
Yeah, the first part of it is cool, but the meat of it is the actual preamble.
And they put those principles down on paper and called it the Constitution.
And we pretend that we have a Constitution, because aren't we quaint? Aren't we adorable? Bless our little hearts. We think we have a Constitution. Yeah, piece of paper that doesn't do shit because the Supreme Court don't give a crap about it. Turns out they don't even use it anymore. They use laws that were written when there was burning witches.
Yeah, imagine if we just put our fingers in pistols, flowers would bloom. That'd be pretty cool. Not a child voting. Children can't vote.
The child didn't vote.
A girl child definitely couldn't vote. Women didn't have the right to vote until Susan B. Anthony. But that's in a different Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah, there's dozens of them you can watch.
Yeah. My favorite one is I'm Just a Bill, because people don't know how laws are made. They just think people yell in a room and then, oh, that's it. We made a law. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
We wish that applied anymore, but unfortunately.
Hey, look, it's New Mexico. That state that's not a state. Because every time you say you're from New Mexico, people say, you're from Mexico? Go back to where you belong.
A Jeopardy question the other day. What is the only state that has the name of another country in it? And I got New Mexico, and everybody got it wrong.
Wow, that's really depressing. And on Jeopardy, where smart people go to be smart.
It might have been another show.
Maybe it was how smart is a fifth grader or something. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? And then it'd be no, you're not. You don't know about New Mexico. Right on. Imagine if they stamped it like that. Oh, I'm glad we're celebrating deforestation in this video.
That's the first thing that happened, man.
I know, right?
Well, at least they're all living in one spot.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels: Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old